All right, hockey fans, here we go. Finally, we got a Game 7 here. One of only two Game 7s, and a little bit surprised that way with all the good matchups that we had this year in the first round. I kind of thought Panthers were going 7. I knew this one was going to go 7. I'm shocked the Kings didn't go 7. I'm shocked Winnipeg and the Jets, or Winnipeg and the Blues, is going 7. So we got a good one tonight. This is really the better of the two games, in my opinion. Dallas, Colorado, two incredibly good teams, two teams that I would say I'm not interested in my Panthers playing them in the Stanley Cup final, except for I'm really not interested in playing Vegas or Edmonton. So if we can play the Sharks, if we get that far, it is what it is. So what are we going to see tonight on the ice? These are two teams that have been there, done that in terms of late playoff runs and the whole thing, which probably means, and taking into consideration it's not one of those nights where there's 4 games scheduled in the same night. Wouldn't be surprised to see this sucker head to overtime, maybe a couple of overtimes, hopefully not too late. But there's not been a lot of extra overtime activity in these playoffs. We had a few overtimes. I think we only had the one double overtime. So we're kind of due. And what's better than like double overtime in Game 7, huh? Especially when you're talking about these two teams that they could win a cup, right? There's definitely a cup-ish team on the line here tonight. This would easily have been a possibility for the Western Conference Finals if they were in different divisions, but they're not. Under Blackwood, both guys have been as solid as you can expect. You've got all the top-end talent on Colorado. You've got Dallas, which is just depth for miles. 5-5. How about 5? We'll just call it. In fact, it'll just be a tie because I don't know who's going to score because that's the score that came to me. 5-5. That's the final score. It doesn't work that way, Jaws. I don't know who's going to win. I picked Dallas in my bracket, and I've got the Dallas jersey on, so that kind of tells you where my mind is at. Let's have fun with it. No score after 9 combined shots. I just would like you to know it's not my fault. I don't know what's fixing to happen, and maybe nothing's going to happen. But I said maybe we might go to double overtime, still scoreless, and Kyle said that could never happen. So, not my fault. This is going to be one of those Game 7s, which a lot of them are, but this one especially is just going to be like some greasy goal. I mean, it is just a lot of neutral zone play, lots of hits. People, guys coming in, they're one and done. The puck's back out. Just two incredibly good teams that only one of them is going to survive this, and it's going to be some bounce where the puck goes off of a guy's head and rolls and finds its way between 3 defensemen and accidentally gets kicked in, but the dude was falling, so it wasn't really a kicking motion. It's just going to be crazy. You can just feel it. It's just going to be one of those crazy. Hopefully, it has nothing to do with the refs or a review. We'll just leave it at that. Let's move on to the second period. So, come on. 1-0 Colorado after 2. What'd I say? Greasy goal, right? Shorthand. Dallas earns themselves a power play. And what do they go and do? How do they go? It's embarrassing. Short-handed goal. Manson hits the post. It bounces off of Otter's back and into the back of the net. That's greasy. Short-handed post, your goalie, and then So Dallas's response to that was to not. It's not like they look terrible, but right now Colorado's winning this game. They're out shooting them. They're out chancing them. And Dallas is there getting some opportunities, but it kind of looks like Colorado might make this sucker 2-0. If they make it 2-0, it's over. Dallas looks like they're barely going to be able to get a goal if they can get this thing to overtime. We might still be here a while, but at least it won't be scoreless double overtime, so Kyle's off the hook. See how this goes. The Dallas Stars. Wow. What a Game 7. What a Game 7. Now, I've got to throw the hat, but I got to tell the story why I'm throwing the hat. Now, when a player gets a hat trick, and I'm doing a recap, I will take the hat and I will try to throw it and get it to land on the flash of the camera. Now, I've only ever succeeded in doing that once. It was a Nathan MacKinnon hat trick a few years ago in the playoffs. Now, tonight is a Mikko Rantanen hat trick. And some of you come to the noon streams know that when Rantanen got traded to Carolina, my consistent opinion was that Carolina was not going to be able to re-sign him, and that he was going to get traded back to the Western Conference at the trade deadline, and he was going to be a massive pain in the ass at some point playing Colorado. Now, admittedly, I thought he was going to get traded to Vegas, but this is so much sweeter. So, Mikko, thank you for... this will be the one, right? I've never done this for a Panther. I've never been successful with a Panther player hat trick. The only one was MacKinnon all those years ago. I usually miss by a mile. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I missed by a total mile. Yep. Oh, so the Colorado Avalanche will not be in a rematch with the champs for this year's Stanley Cup. And that's so... I mean, Colorado's such a damn good team. They're a damn good team. And the only reason that they didn't beat Dallas is because they were stupid and traded Mikko Rantanen. I'm sorry, but what were they thinking? Now, I know they traded him to Carolina, but a dead monkey knew that Carolina wasn't going to sign Rantanen. And the dead monkey's brother had to know that if Carolina couldn't sign Rantanen, they were going to move him, and they sure as hell wouldn't give him to anybody in the Eastern Conference. It's just simple. It's just simple logic. So Nathan MacKinnon opens up the scoring in the second period with makes it 2-0 like 30 seconds in or something, and you're thinking it's lights out. Because Dallas, for the next 7 or 8 minutes, however long it was, till Rantanen got the goal, they were just... Dallas was playing that game like they had a 3-0 lead on a late-night game in February. They just were not engaged at all. And Mikko Rantanen said, fine, I'll do it myself. And he gets the goal, and then crowd goes wild. Everything else starts going wild. And then what happens the next goal? Rantanen gets the second goal, and we're tied, and it's just massive bedlam. He goes for the wraparound, and he misses, but the puck goes off a Colorado defenseman's skate and into the net. And poor Blackwood, he's over here. He's on the right side of the net. And Rantanen comes around and tries to wrap around on the left side of the net. Now, the puck's already in the back of the net. It's already in the back of the net. And that's when Blackwood is like still sliding over here. And he's looking for the puck. It's already in the net. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then Colorado takes a bad, I forget who it was, but just a bad hold. And when they first called the penalty, this is like 4 minutes left, and I'm screaming like they must have killed the guy. Who's good? How do you call a hold if 4 minutes left in a game 7? And then they showed the penalty, and the dude was like literally tackled. It was like you have to call it. Like he tackled the guy right in front of the net. It was just a stupid penalty to take. And then Wyatt Johnson, they leave him wide. I know it's a power play, so guys are going to be open. But like if you watch the full replay, Wyatt Johnson is in the corner like, I'm just going to let them pass the puck around. Nobody. It was like he was the invisible man. Nobody even knew he was on the ice. Finally, they started passing the puck around. He's like, take one more hit. And I moved a little bit closer to the net, and they got me the puck and poof in the back of the net. And that's it. That's it. Colorado, absolutely. If you looked up shit the bed in the dictionary, there's a picture of what Colorado just did at the end of that game. Unfreaking fathomable. And then, of course, Rantanen there's like only a couple seconds left anyway, but he gets the empty net for the hat trick. and I'm dying laughing because Kyle's on my left and Donna's on my right, and they both had Colorado in 7 in their brackets, and it was getting a little cocky as the clock's went by and it's 2-0. And so I had a good time. I had a good time celebrating that in my chair. Oh my God. So I have no faith that Dallas will make it to the Stanley Cup final. But if they make it to Game 7, they're a problem. We'll just put it that way. But for most of that game, they like sleptwalk. And I know Colorado's good. And I know from watching the Panthers that when we're playing that really good system, tight system, we can make other teams look like they're not trying. So I know Dallas was trying, but they did not elevate, even at 2-0. They didn't elevate and change their energy. They just were kind of out there, playing the same exact way that had already gotten under 2-0. And then Mikko said, you know what, I guess I got to do it myself. Unbelievable. What a beautiful game. What a good Game 7. Not for Avs fans, I'm sure, but Dallas moves on, and so that's where we are. All right. Tomorrow, we'll be live again. St. Louis and Winnipeg. Completely different story there, right? Because, I mean, St. Louis is like completely playing with house money, and Winnipeg is not, right? Winnipeg is like, they got hired to paint the building, and they painted it the wrong color 4 times. How many times have they been out of the first round? I mean, it's bad. It's bad. And then they come here against St. Louis. St. Louis playing well, obviously. So I have a feeling. I hope it's as good of I'm hoping it's as good of a game as this one was tonight. Unbelievable comeback by Dallas at the end of that, and Colorado just yacked it up. They had it. He got a 2-0 lead, and Dallas looked dead. They look dead. So, congratulations to them. Congratulations to Mikko getting the redemption arc moving there. Boy, couldn't have. I mean, I said it when it was traded. I said what I thought was going to happen, but it wasn't like some massive, like predictive thing. It made, to me, I just followed the logic. It was like, Carolina's not going to sign him. They're not going to trade him to somebody in the Eastern Conference. They're going to trade, and Mikko's only going to want to go to a contender in the West. I thought it was going to be Vegas, because that's kind of what that sounds like a Vegas move. But when Dallas got him, I'm like, oh, they're going to play, he's going to play Colorado in the first round. And sure enough, there it is. All right. That's going to do it for tonight. We'll see you live tomorrow for Blues and Jets. And then I'll be live Monday at noon for the pre-show for Panthers and Leafs. Starts Monday night at 8 o'clock. We'll be here. Colorado won't, though. All right.